Hello, Katrin. How are you?
Hello, bye bye. I'm fine. And you?
Great. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining us. Katrin, you have great courses: design thinking, innovation, basic, advanced, etc. And they are all for startups. And it is very good that tailor-made courses for startups from design thinking perspective, for example, is now coming on board. Um, Before starting the discussion about courses, could you please give a little bit background about yourself and how you were involved in the innovation ecosystem and your efforts to convert economies to more innovative economies?
Yes, thanks a lot, bye bye, for having me. Yeah, very warm welcome from my side. I have been now working 23 years in a corporate, and I can promise you no day was similar to the other. And I never had been bored because I always invented my business for myself within a corporate. Imagine. So I totally agree what Monter just stated. You need the startup mindset and the startup thinking, despite where you work or what you work with or whom you work with. So I think it's about mindset, it's about initiative, it's about being creative, yeah. And that goes much further than only founding one company. It goes more in the direction never stop learning, always continue, never stand still. And that's some messages I would like to transport in the courses, and also because it's my conviction and my experience now since years that it's the only way to not get bored, to not get frustrated, and just yeah, stay tuned, work a lot with students, with startups. That's what I'm doing. So I teach at universities. I had also been in other cultures to teach in Amman, for instance. That was for me a really very extraordinary experience because design thinking in Arabic countries totally went otherwise than if I teach in Germany, for instance. So for me, it's also a learning um, to whom do I teach things and what do I learn myself when I teach students, for instance, or startups. It goes a lot in the bilateral direction, and um, that's really for me the source of innovation. So where do I find innovation when I work in a corporate? I think it's really at the startup events. So I went to EBAN, for instance. That was my first exercise to join Fabrice Tester in Luxembourg. And I went also to Exec FinTech in Frankfurt. It's already 6 or 7 years ago. And there I saw the customer list of the startups presenting, pitching. And you know what it was? They had all the big banks in their customer list, in their funnel. So I was really thinking, as I have a banking background, I was thinking, okay, UBS, Deutsche Bank, all big banks were there, and startups were giving them, so to say, solutions for their problems. So I thought really we have to move in corporate world, we have to be agile, and what can I change to do that? And so I started in the early innovation. I'm working at Alliance, University Alliances in SAP since years as an innovation leader. And I thought, okay, if we enable students already at university side to think agile, then we will have this entrepreneurship mindset in our future um, manpower. So the talents should already be aware of what they should enable or what they should accelerate in the future employers company already in the auditorium in the university campus. And that's why I went out. I thought, okay, design thinking, I'm a coach for that. How can I teach students in a way that they already get in touch with entrepreneurship thinking? And that worked quite well because I'm often integrating impulse speeches or also like cases from real startups, and bring them into the lectures. And I think that's the recipe, and that's how you can learn from practical cases that are really existing. You see perhaps even the CEO of the startup pitching his business, and then as a learner, you can make your own thoughts about that. Yeah, you don't have a theoretical case, but you have a real person standing for a business, solving problems of their customers, and you as a student can participate. You are invited even to give feedback to this business model. And that's how I teach, and how I'm also would like to do it here in the World Business Angel Forum Business School. I'm very proud to be part of this extraordinary expert cohort. It's really great what you brought together, Balbas, and in non-time. Yeah, it was really speed. Yeah, and I like speed, so I think we can sleep when we can sleep later, but not yet, not now. Yeah. So really great enjoying that I'm here.
Thank you, Katrin. Katrin, design thinking is fine, but you are also going to lecture for from science fiction to science facts. What is it about?
It's a journey in time. So you travel in time, and we are looking a little bit backwards in history. What had been predicted in earlier times as technical innovations, or also society innovations or resources innovations, all this is already in the ancient science fiction novels or films from the 60s already. So you look back and you see, okay, the mobile phone had been in a certain film already in 65. And when did then the mobile really worked? Yeah, and was in reality already invented. So how long did that take? It took perhaps 30 years in that case. But what happened with other innovations that came later? And you see then that the circular of realization of these fantasies, of these imaginary innovations, was shorter and shorter. So people were more and more quicker in realizing technical innovations and bring them to the market. And that's why we jump in the second half of this course in the future. So we are now 2020, and which innovation should we invent now? Yeah, and I think on vaccines, or yeah, there are a lot of things at the moment happening. So there is an urgency to be very quick now in boosting innovation. And I think we have now the extraordinary chance that we are in such an international surrounding here in the World Business Angel Forum, that it's really easy to find the right expert for your problem or for your gap that you discover in the world, and then boost the innovation in a quite quick manner. And that gives you then extraordinary ideas, what you can build as a business, as a startup, as an inventor, or as a scientist.
I see. Yeah. Sustainability thinking.
Sustainability thinking is about why are you founding a company? What is your primary motivation to be independent in your business? So if you look back 10 to 20 years ago, it was, I want to earn money, a lot of money quickly, buy 3 Ferraris, and then be rich and don't have to work anymore. And now I observe, especially young people, that they are more about which gap in the world can I fill, um, which urgency in, for instance, economical, society, or ecological matters can I solve with my skills, with my mindset that I have when I perhaps come out of master studies at university, or if I have ever worked in a certain profession and I'm a technician, and in this profession I found something, yeah, that I could change. So you feel this inner urgency and need. You want to change personally, you want to change something, and you want to be, yeah, to have a USP, a unique selling proposition. And you can't find this USP really if you are imitating this the third time a certain business model to sell something to people. So that's like repetition. But if you want to have something really new, really innovative, and you combine it with the global goals, for instance, then you will see that there is so much to do, and you will find a niche where you are the expert and you have some invention that will save people's lives, perhaps in Africa or in another country where you don't have water, for instance, and you find a way to build water. Yeah, that would be a great, great, great achievement. And that's about in this course. How can you also build on the ideas of others, what is already existing? I will give you some impulses, a lot of examples from my experience. I have quite a cohort now of former students. They are following me still, and we exchange still. I'm like a companion of their businesses, and that's very enriching for such a course.
Uh, Inspiration on social digital sustainability. I think this is very important now, isn't it, in pandemic times?
Yes, I'm now collaborating with an institute at the Mannheim University since 3 to 4 years now. And yeah, they are, for instance, working on how do you get cacao in the world, where is cacao produced? And if you see that, it's all around the equator. So you have a lot of businesses dealing with cacao, but the outcome of each family business is very small. So how can you now solve the problem that these small businesses have to let work their children, and the children don't have time to go to school, so they don't learn. So you have a vicious circle of non-education or too few education years for the children, and the stagnation of the business. And if you disrupt this model, then you will see that if people are, for instance, combining forces and joining forces, then you will see that the cacao business can be organized in a completely different manner. So this is one example. It is researched at the moment by a very well-known university, and the collaboration is also with other companies who are, for instance, the customers of these smaller businesses. And how can you then, of course, that will also be part of that, how can you have a sustainable chain of production, but also of deliverable, of logistics. And at the end, yeah, how will the market perhaps change then if you discover such an, yeah, really issue, and you solve at the same time, in this case, you will solve a couple of global goals at the same time, because you also help the children of these families to get education, and to embed the whole system one time, and the business of their parents, because they have more knowledge then.
Yeah.
So this is one example, but there are a lot of examples. Education is the biggest one at the moment. You know that best, I think.
Yeah, yeah,
And yeah.
When we are talking about social digital sustainability, as a matter of fact, responsible finance is very relevant to this issue. Impact investment is very relevant to this issue.
Yes.
And social entrepreneurship is very relevant. Generally, social entrepreneurship and impact investment are very similar to each other. Uh, what about business model innovation? I mean, one and two. I think you have the basic and advanced levels
Yes.
at the business model innovation.
So business model innovation, Monter also had that in his assessor course. Business model innovation is about how, if you discover your idea that you would like to change in the world, and you have the right setup with sustainability, and everything is set in place, then you need a real business model, because with an idea you can't do any turnover, you will not win any money. uh, so you need a business model where you really think, what is my network, who will be my channels of resources, who can be my community for communication about my business, and who will be my network, also to enable the selling of my product, that I will in the beginning of this course define. So if you have an idea, it's not a most viable product. An idea is just an idea. But if you want to sell something, you need a price tag on it. You need to have tested it. You need to hit really the needs of people and to define your target group. And these are all these, really technical, basic um, things that we will run through in order perhaps also to define your business model, as you have to go back to zero. It might be the case. So even in the course one, um, in the course two, it will be the case. So you disrupt your own business model, you kill the company, and then you go back from zero. And but with your experience from business model one, you will go back and you will really charge yourself in understanding the needs, the really needs of people, and to secure more also what you said, your investing um, associates, your partners for resources, for logistics. So now I think it's very, very important to decide, do I want a global company? Do I want a more regional company? Do I stay local? Because if you see what the coronavirus can disrupt, that's really huge. And that's the best example of a complete change of everything what we thought is stable. Yeah. And I think we need to be prepared that other threats can also disrupt the business model. So it's better to have exercised that one time, then you are aware of plan B and you can act in order to not lose time when such a disruption comes.
I think, Katrin, this business model innovation is also very important for investment decision makers,
Yeah,
for angel investors, for example,
yeah,
because investors prefer hearing more about business model more than the business plan, because they know that everybody can prepare the business plan easily by filling the Excel sheets. But business model is something should be unique to the business. I mean, this is what they will invest. So business model innovation, especially in such kind of pandemic, I mean, in different times, is very important. I am inviting startups and entrepreneurs to please go to WBF Business School page, website, go to course contents parts, and find elective courses, and more details about these courses are included in this document. Download it and read it. What about the industry real challenges solved by the WBF students? Is it something like case studies or workshops? What is it about?
that's a thing I invented really 5 years ago, you can say, and exercised it really. It's my preferred combination of all the tools that we discussed beforehand, because you have everything in these real challenges, and plus you have a customer, and that's so important. So you will have a mentor from a real company. It can be a startup or it can be also corporate, and this company will challenge you with a real challenge, and that will not be a whole company to be changed. That's too huge. It will be in the given time. So it will perhaps be one process, one product, one part of a company, or one goal for a startup. Yeah, perhaps a startup tells you, now I'm on since 5 years and I would like to scale. What should I do now? but now it's Corona. What can I do? How can I scale? How can I grow? And the participants of the course will then give their 50 cents to this problem. So you will collect the experience of the whole crowd. That's the advantage, because then you have a completely different angles of view to your problem as a challenge owner. And you will be able to discuss and to get feedback from these people and advise what you should change.
As a matter of fact, these industry real challenges are, I mean, very important for each startups from different regions, because different solutions for different challenges for different regions of the world are possible,
Mhm.
and this will show them that there is not only one solution for
Yeah,
one question. There are many solutions, and it is the responsibility of the startup to choose the best solution.
right.
So I've always said the practical life is not like maths. There are many correct answers, and it is the responsibility of the individual to select the correct answer now, not
Yeah.
tomorrow or yesterday.
And I even would like to add, it's like a surgeon at the open heart, you know, it's really,
Yeah,
because that's not fun. It's not something fake. It's a real business, and you will be the one to give your advice to this and your ideas. And I think both parties will learn from this enormously.
yeah. What about the entrepreneurial leadership in crisis periods?
Hmm. Yeah, that's a quite new course. I just jumped off from my executive leadership MBA, so I studied the last 18 months and at Mannheim Business School, and now I would like to bring in all this experience that I got there, because we went, for instance, to Georgetown University, to the business school, and we were speaking to very interesting people, former advisors for politicians. Um, Also, the CEO of Coca-Cola was there. It was really a huge bundle of different impressing personalities that were teaching us there. And I think we can also do that here in a worldwide format. And that's really huge, because if you see which experts you already have onboarded, and if everybody gives a small piece of his skills or her skills or experience, the level, the quality will be highest. So you have already leaders in your World Business Angel Forum, senators and high commissioners, and everybody who joined already is awake. And because if not, they wouldn't have joined. Yeah, and these
Yeah,
are is already in itself a leadership cohort. So I would like to make participants yeah, get impression on how leaders act, how leaders think, how leaders evolve, because a leader is never standing still. And yeah, that's part of the course. So it goes more in your skills, in your personal skills, in your soft skills also. And that's very important to build the right startup team, for instance. If you are not aware of your own T-shape, yeah, it's called T-shape. So you have knowledge in the broader sense, and you have horizontal, and you have also expert knowledge in one or two topics where you're really, yeah, the best. So how can you then combine your T-shape with T-shapes of others? And that's something you learn in this leadership course, because you have to have the intuition to not only judge people or select people by having their degrees or seeing their grades or whatever, or studies, but also it's also about what do you feel when you meet a person. Is the person empathic to you? Do you think you have a short line in having trust for this person? So it's more about things that make them run a business afterwards, because the base is set in a good way. So it goes in the direction, should there be one leader? that's now also discussed in corporates. Yeah, is the leadership that we have in managers, is that still staying the same, or will we now, with all the changes and quick reactions that we have to do, also have to change our leadership model in a more community-driven one? So these are questions that we will raise up there and discuss, and it will be very interactive.
Katrin, do you think, do you believe in co-leadership? Do you believe in
Yeah.
co-leadership?
Yeah, but I would, yes, I believe in it, and I would have loved to get that offered 20 years ago when I got my children, because for me it was not possible anymore to follow a classical career. My priority were the children, but I always worked. Yeah, I was not staying at home, but the classical career was disrupted. So now they offer tandem employ, and they offer co-leadership functions. And I would really have loved to have that, because beforehand I had a managerial career and I was leading a team, and would have loved to stay in this way of continuing, but wished by the company. And so I decided I will become an expert in areas and do my own thing and build my own community, what I did.
Yeah, yeah, great. Katrin, thank you very much for joining us. I'm sure participants will benefit very much from your courses.
I hope.
And I'm inviting all to visit the website and download the course documents. And
I can.
anything else you want to add?
Yes, if anybody, I work a lot with communities and matchmaking. So if anybody would like to follow me on LinkedIn, that's my preferred
Please.
platform at the moment. Then you can really send me an invite, and I will try to help you.
Yeah.
Also about the courses or about the business school.
If you have any questions, please find Katrin Redmann in the LinkedIn and send your questions directly to her. Or if you have any more questions, then please send it to the secretarial service of the WBAF Business School. Dear Katrin, thank you very much. Let's
Welcome.
keep in touch.
Yes, I love to.
Dear participants, today's Meet with Faculty Members sessions end now. So Katrin was our last guest today. And tomorrow, again, from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. GMT at the same times, we will meet with our other faculty members. All the best and see you tomorrow. Thank you very much, Katrin. See you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.